at Coopatopia today. It's 2018 here in Olympia, Washington. The weather is turning out great, and we have about 10 to 15 different cooperatives here gathering together and working with the community and telling them what they're about, what it means to be a co-op. We're here with the Northwest Cooperative Development Center. I know a little bit about them, but I think the executive director can tell us a little bit more. What does NWCDC actually do?
We help new and existing businesses, cooperative businesses, new businesses. We help them through the process of starting up. And existing businesses, we work with them to shore up their activities and if asked. And sometimes we'll do financial planning for them if they're looking towards doing an expansion.
Real cool. How many staff members do we have at NWCDC?
Right now we have 10. And we serve Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, so we're out on the road a lot. Two of our staff actually are not located here in Olympia. One is in Yakima and the other's in Bellingham.
Real cool. And what's your favorite thing about co-ops? What do you value most, or what's your favorite cooperative principle?
Ooh, concern for community, I think, would be my favorite principle, particularly today. And self-help, self-determination is my favorite thing.
Thanks, Diane.
I'm a member of Capital Land Trust that has been for years saving wetlands. Really good stuff. I'm also a member of South of the Sound. We're saving farmland. Thurston Housing Land Trust is going to create affordable housing by the trust owning the land so people can rent or live or buy the houses but not be paying as much because the land, the value of the land stays in the trust.
There's another organization that's here as well called Rock Northwest, also works with affordable housing. Maybe we should introduce you guys.
We're in cahoots.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, affordable housing is obviously a big issue today, and just having a sense of community, I think everyone can be happier that way.
Hi, we're here with OB Credit Union. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chris with OB Credit Union, and we're here today with Coopatopia. Thanks for having us on this beautiful day. And so OB Credit Union is the original credit union of the Olympia Brewery, and a lot of people don't know this, but credit unions are co-ops as well. And the reason for that is because we're not-for-profit, we are member-owned, and we give back to the community. We work with a lot of community organizations to give back, and also profits go back to our members in the form of lower rates and higher interest rates on savings accounts.
Tell us a little bit about Tulip.
Awesome, thanks. Hey, and thanks for inviting us today. So we're the Tulip Financial Empowerment Center, part of the cooperative Harborstone Credit Union. We're located down on Capitol and State Street, and we're a financial empowerment center kind of focused on helping people become financially independent and prosperous. It's all individualized, compassionate, it's all free. We'll work on whatever people want to work on, if it's something as simple as saving for an event in their life, or if they need to repair their credit. Maybe they've had a hard time finding a checking account, or if they're stuck in some high-interest loan cycles. We have people that can help with all of that. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do.
Very cool. Thank you, Mark.
My name is Gail Sullivan.
Gail, what's your favorite thing about co-ops?
Well, I think that there's a certain synergy that comes from people working together because the sum of the whole is greater than the parts, and the enthusiasm that people get and the good feelings they get from working together and cooperating is so much more satisfying and fulfilling than just doing something by yourself.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
The Olympia Food Co-op is a worker and member-owned, not-for-profit collective that relies on consensus decision-making. And we've been around since 1977. We prioritize local producers, local farmers and vendors, and we have a lot of keystone programs like our working member program. Most of the folks that you'll see working in the store, the cashiers, the produce stockers, the grocery stockers, are not staff members, but they are volunteer working members. And for every 7 hours they work in the store, they receive discounts on food, and they get to connect with their community and learn new skills. We're really proud of our working member program. Yeah, come on in.
Yeah. We're here with Pat and Heather, who are having a great time here at Coopatopia. Pat and Heather actually are at a staff collective with the Olympia Food Co-op. Is that correct?
That's right.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about that and what you value most about working in about co-ops?
So we are a 85-person collective of workers. So we make decisions by consensus. People have autonomous decision-making power. It's like the grocery buyer gets to decide what cornflakes to buy, but within the product selection guidelines that were consented to by the entire staff, that then fit our mission statement and our, the various things that we live and work by.
Yeah.
So.
And working at the co-op has definitely prepared me to live in a way that that aligns with my values, that I feel like I'm able to be a really authentic person at work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And everything I've learned in the way of communication and working together cooperatively and collaboratively has set me up for everything else I do in my life. And it's something I couldn't have learned, anywhere else. So after 10 years of having all these conversations, I've developed a lot, and I'm really grateful for that.
So we're here with the West Side Cooperative Preschool. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about the preschool?
Sure. Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I'm a 4.5-year-old who's in Orange class currently, and he adores it. And this other parent also is a mom. I'm on the board as a volunteer for a health and safety position, and we're going to be doing another year coming up in fall.
That's really cool. Thank you.
My favorite thing about a collect, I guess working with you is an example, because my coworkers are amazing group of people, and not one of us is a boss. I really like that. I get to collaborate rather than be fearful for my job.
Yeah, if I was going to focus on the biggest things I love about working collectively is that it's not a hierarchy,
Yep.
that there's not a boss, that we share the responsibility, which can be cumbersome and frustrating in its own process, but knowing the end goal and the end result, right, gives me more motivation to work through the challenging communication issues.
Yep.
And I know for a fact it's the most empowering place I've ever worked, because my decision absolutely matters. I'm one of 85 people who are making decisions, so
Yeah.
it's a lot. It means a lot.
Real cool.
What else could we
Hi,
say?
we're here with Reed Ingalls from the Flaming Eggplant. The Flaming Eggplant kind of started the wave of worker cooperatives that you actually see here today. Reed, why don't you tell me a little bit about the Flaming Eggplant?
Sure, yeah. The Flaming Eggplant was started by a group of students who started serving food in Red Square at Evergreen. They wanted an alternative to corporate food options on campus, and so they started serving it on their own. Over the years, it's been around for a little under a decade. We have transitioned from serving at a table in Red Square to having a food truck and a commercial kitchen to now operating a cafe on the 3rd floor of the campus activities building, and providing jobs for usually around 20 students at a time. Our workplace is democratically managed and supported by student fees and then our own revenue, and we try to source as much of our food from local providers, from co-ops, and even from the organic farm on campus.
That's really cool. And Reed, why don't you tell us about what you value most about working in a co-op?
I've worked in food service in many different instances, very many different jobs, and I really appreciate being able to have that democratic management of the workplace, and to really be able to learn by doing.
Hi, we're here with Jeremy Van Wormer Valentine from the Northwest Construction Co-op. Jeremy, why don't you tell me a little bit about the Northwest Construction Co-op and what you value most about working in a co-op?
So we are a worker-owned general contractor. We've been around for about 5 years now, and we do a little bit of everything, tile, linoleum, painting, and then interior, exterior remodels, additions, and new construction. I'd say what I value most about being part of a co-op is that I feel like the camaraderie of everybody really helps drive the business, which is something that I haven't found in
Really cool. And how many hours so far has your little girl put into becoming a worker owner?
She's, coming up on her 6 months, and we may accept her membership, but I don't know how she's going to fund the buy-in.
No, thank you, Jeremy. We're here with Capital Home Care Cooperative, one of the newest cooperatives here in Olympia, Washington, and Nora's going to tell us a little bit about what they do.
Hi there. We are a worker-owned home care cooperative providing in-home services to seniors and adults with disabilities. We believe that paying caregivers a living wage and providing them with exceptional quality employment will provide the best care for our clients. We are the third home care cooperative to open up in Washington State, so we're really excited to say that we know we're the solution to a lot of the barriers facing home care.
That's really awesome. And what do you value most about working in a cooperative?
I value being able to give everyone on our board, all of the caregivers, the opportunity to bring all of their skills to the table to grow the business and to recognize all of the nuanced skill that goes into caregiving.
So some of the cooperatives that we've had here today were actually businesses before that converted into employee ownership and became a cooperative. With you guys, you just kind of started from scratch. How did that go? What was that like?
I've learned a lot over the last year about what I don't know, and it's been a big learning curve, but I have to say we wouldn't have been able to do it without the direct support of the Northwest Cooperative Development Center. With their business consultants, we were really able to get the input and insights that we needed in order to start successfully. They helped us find a funding source. They're always there to really make sure that we're launching successfully. And it's been a real delight to find that this is such a highly needed thing in our community that the minute the word got around, our board started growing and we were really able to get this done in an amazing amount of time.
And worker-owned cooperatives especially are the most direct and most democratic way for workplaces to operate. We tend to have better services because everyone in the agency owns the agency, and so they have a direct say in what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be operating, what our values are. And I believe very strongly in direct democracy. It's important to see that more people get involved, not just in unions, but in cooperatives, because cooperatives really, it's not like there's some middleman between you and management. You are, as much of a part of the agency as everyone else, and it's a great value to see direct democracy in private enterprise as well. So it's exciting.
Hi, we're here with Devra from Patty Pan Pantry Cooperative. Devra, why don't you tell me a little bit about Patty Pan?
Patty Pan mostly does food service concessions at farmers markets in the Seattle area. And we are a conversion co-op. So we grew out of a sole proprietorship business that was my business before it became everybody's business. So
real cool. How many worker owners do we have with Patty Pan?
5 or 7, depending on how you count. We have a couple of people who left who still do some work for us and wanted to remain members, so we kind of created a class of membership for long-term members. Yeah.
Hi, we're here with Joe Garrison from Blue Scorcher Bakery and Cafe. They are based in Astoria, Oregon. Joe, why don't you tell me about Blue Scorcher and what you value most about working in a co-op?
There's about 32 of us that work in there. We make everyday bread, pastry. We have a counter for barista services and meals. And at this point in life, it occurs to me that our work is, our business together is a quality of life machine. So we feed ourselves and other people. We do work in a way that is wonderful to be a part of. And we try and create a conveyor belt of goodness that's going to not just benefit us, but for the people that come behind us.
That's real awesome. Thank you, Joe. Kat Darger from the New Moon Cooperative Cafe. Kat, why don't you tell me a little bit about the cafe? How long have you been there?
I've been at New Moon for 5 years. We bought it from the previous owner 5 years ago and turned it worker-owned, and we've been worker-owned since then. So that means everybody who works there owns it and does all the managerial work and everything. I'm a server, and I am on finance committee and operations.
And what do you value most about working in a co-op?
It's funny that you asked that because we're working on our value statement right now. And so we've got a mission statement, which you can read elsewhere. But in terms of values, I guess just being flexible to our own needs and each other's needs and trying to like raise the bar on the food service industry.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Hi, we're here with Lexi from Dumpster Values. Lexi, why don't you tell me a little bit about Dumpster Values?
Well, we are a vintage clothing store. We formed in 1996, and the previous owner sold the business to us employees at the beginning of the year. So we are now a worker-owned cooperative.
That's awesome. So you were a conversion. You were just, it was a privately owned business before, and then it converted into a cooperative. Mm-hmm. How long did that take?
A while. I think we started the process in September of 2016, and it finally came to fruition in, January 1st, 2018. So like a year and a half.
Cool. And is the store open today?
Yeah, every day.
Awesome, because I think I need a new jacket.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lexi.
I really love that in the atmosphere of the co-op, so that shoppers who come over the years feel that. More importantly, the people who really feel it are staff members, but also working members. So I see that as one of the main draws for working members is to come to a place regularly where they get to really be themselves. And as staff members, when you're hired, it takes a while to let go and let down that conditioning and the culture and really just be yourself and be valued and value each other. And it's totally priceless, and I love that we have created a place where 300-ish volunteers can come and participate in, and it really develops the community even more in that authenticity. It's awesome. Really awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Well, thanks for talking with us, guys. Isa Skaya Arniaga, and she's here enjoying Coopatopia today. Isa, why don't you tell me a little bit about your pinguino? Her silence says it all. Thank you.